this thing this bar we got off.
Yep.
Hide floating meeting controls. There we go. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Welcome everybody to the AFC Gives information session for community for Change for Good. Oh, you got somebody in there. I can do that. Looks like I can still do it. Let me see if I can do it. I'll see it. Okay. Welcome to the information session for Change for Good. This is Callie, who works for the co-op and supports the committee. And then Ben also works in the marketing department. My name is Bob Kaplan. I'm on the board of the co-op, and I'm also the chair currently of the AFC Gives committee that manages the programs, the community grants and Change for Good program. So now how do I make this go? Stop moving. All right. All right. Thank you. Let's see. So the food co-op it's been in Ashland for over 50 years now. And we've had for a number of years, 2 programs to give back to the community or to work with the community. One is our Change for Good program, which is the one that you all are here for tonight. And that's a program that the co-op members every year select an organization that then can become a partner for a month for the roundup at the register. Okay, we'll talk about that more in a bit. The other one is, and that's been going, that program has been up for about 5 years. The other program is the Community Grants Program. And that's a program that has been running for longer. And that's organizations apply for a specific project, for funding for a specific project. And the committee evaluates the proposals and then provides funding for a certain amount of funding for that project. So the difference between the 2 programs, the Change for Good is a partnership with an organization. The Change for the Community Grants Program is a grant for a specific project. And we'll talk about it. So you ask for the community grants, which we're not going to talk about today. You ask for money for specific things and you get money for that, money or food vouchers. But for the community grants, it's just a open-ended support for the organization. It's provided directly by our shoppers. Okay, now I'm going to, as I said as we said on the slide, the Change for Good program is run in the spring. We accept applications. Application period is open right now and will be open for another few days through, I think, the end of this week. The Community Grants Program is the opposite side of the year. It's the applications are open in July and August, and the grants are awarded in September. Still not going here. Why is that? What do I do to make it go?
No
Wait, we've gone too far.
Yeah, way too far.
So
Don't look anywhere.
now we're all the way to the end. There you go. You get it up big again. All right. I'd like to move this thing our way too, but it seems like we have problems when I move it. So maybe I should just, okay. So I already mentioned this slide. I guess I got ahead of myself. The Change for Good program was first run in 2020. So, the way that works is there's a roundup monthly, and the organizations are actually selected by our owners during the spring annual meeting process. Okay. Still not going, Callie.
Did it once. I'm not sure what the magic was.
There you go. So I'll just do that this time. So this slide is just a couple of examples. In 2024, the total roundup was almost $72,000 for, adding up each monthly roundup. A couple of examples of Change for Good partners was Our Family Farms in May, where the shoppers donated $5,400. Road Climate in February of 2024, the community gave $6,200. So it varies. You can see that it really depends on what the shoppers decide to do. Okay, you're gonna try this. Ha! So this one, I'm gonna have to try to move this bar. When the process for the change for applying for the change for good partnership is your application, you've probably already seen it. You pick one of the 5 priority areas that we emphasize. One area is food and or supportive services for people in need. That's actual providing food to folks. The second area is environmental stewardship, education or sustainability. Let's see if I can move this bar. There we go. How about that? The third one is educational programs focused on food, nutrition, and health. Education on the environment or environmental sustainability. And then the 5th area is arts and cultural programs that benefit the local community. Okay. The way I think of it is there are 3 kinds of program areas where there's providing things. And then there are 2 that are educating about things, if that makes sense, at least in my mind. It is a useful distinction. And many organizations do hit more than one of the areas at once, and that's fine to say that, but you should certainly mention what you think is the primary area. So the calendar, as I mentioned, today is the information session. We've got till the end of this week, February 28th. That's Friday at 9 p.m. That's when the Change for Good application closes. The committee then goes through to vet the organizations and then submits organizations to their owners in May for selection during the annual meetings process. So the organizations will be the winning organizations will be partners will be announced in the June annual meeting. I don't know the date of the annual meeting this year. Usually around the middle of the month.
Yeah, I don't actually know it off the top of my head.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
So I've looked on everything on the website about this program, but I have not been able to find the actual application.
Oh,
Oh, no. Okay.
we'll show you where.
So
we'll show you where.
once we go through all the slides, we're going to go to the website and we'll find it. Okay. That's great. Thank you. And please, I should have said at the outset, stop me if you've got questions. It's a lot more interesting to do that. We've got certain information that we think is useful for everybody, and this will be on the website as well, but it'd be useful to just respond to your questions.
Was something about the organization was inclusive or encourages all different diverse populations to be a part of it. Isn't there a little brighter? Yes.
So it is, I would say that is one of the things that we look for in all of the organizations that we're considering, and, and that's something that isn't a specific category, but it is something that aligns with the priorities that we're looking for when we evaluate the applications.
Right, exactly. So it's not a category on its own, but we expect everybody, all organizations to be inclusive and show and describe that. I don't know if the application actually does ask at this point for specific language about how your organization is inclusive, but they used to do that.
Yeah, I think it still does.
I think it still does too.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can get this. Oh. Okay, so we got, what we tried to do is anticipate some of your questions. So, and these are the frequently asked questions. So the first one is, can you apply if you're not a 501c3? And the answer is, the applicants have to either be a 501c3 tax exempt organization or have a 501c3 organization as a fiscal sponsor. Okay. The other piece of this, though, is applicants also must have a co-op owner. Hey, Shanique. Hi, come on. The applicants must also have a co-op owner that's the affiliated, and there'll be a place on the application for the owner to put the owner's number.
Bob, can one owner apply for more than one organization?
Oh, good question. I don't know.
Question before.
That's a good question. So yeah, because you're here with couple of different organizations. I think probably not.
Yeah, we have owners all around, so we'll just
Yeah.
use a different owner for each
Yeah.
application.
Yeah, that's right. We have 13,000 owners. It seems like we should be able to find an owner for each organization.
Yeah, not a big challenge.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks for the question. And actually, let me just say for the people who are on the Zoom, I can't see your hands, so it's better if you just shout it out that you want to speak, and then we'll let you speak. The second question is, how will our month be decided if we're chosen? So what happens at the election is the owners pick the organizations, but obviously there's different numbers of votes for each organization. So what we do once we get all the totals is we allocate the organizations to the different months based on two criteria, really. One is the top number of votes gets what's typically been the highest month of receipts, which is,
Usually June, I would say.
yeah, it's not,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so there's a general rhythm. And then the other thing is we also ask the organizations, is there a month, and I think it's in the application, is there a month where it would be incredibly inconvenient for you to be the Change for Good partner? In which case then we would not, assign you that month.
We also reserve 2 months one for an Indigenous peoples group and one for our own AFC Gives Fund, which we.
That's right.
To.
That's
So there
right.
are 10 spots.
10 spots. 10 spots.
In past years, like how many organizations typically applied about?
So last year,
There are 40 or 41 last year.
that was for the Change for Good
I
as
think
well
so.
as for community grants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
35 maybe, but
So it's a lot.
it is quite a few.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Next one is, what does our organization need to do during our Change for Good month? What we ask is that each of the organizations provide information to the owners that we can share with our owners, either through social media or in the store. We ask that each organization table a couple times during the month that they're there. It's in order for people to have a physical presence at the store.
Bob, can you get closer to the microphone?
I don't know if I can because the microphone's over there on the table. I'll just speak louder. Is that better?
Much better, thank you.
Sorry about that. So we find that it's much better. Organizations do get many more people contributing to them, rounding up for them when they table a couple of times in the month. People just, again, it's a physical interaction with the organization. I think that is a winning combination. Kylie, do you have other things that you would suggest that people need to do?
I mean, I think that just as much as you can promote it, because, we have a pretty wide range of people, but it's, you may have totally different target, like totally different audience that, might see it. And even we've had organizations that have had people that weren't normally co-op shoppers come and shop the co-op just because they wanted to support that organization. So.
Right, that's right. So sometimes people push it out, often they push it out in their own organizations. I've seen in organizations that I'm associated with that I receive emails from when they're at the co-op Change for Good month, they push it out and say, don't forget to go to the co-op. In fact, I remember telling people, go to the co-op and pay, with a separate receipt for each item that you buy. And then you can round up 4 or 5 times if you want. So. That's right. You buy only 5 cents. Right. Although it is true, you don't have to just round up to the nearest dollar. You can ask to round up for another $1 or another $5. And sometimes I do that as a shopper.
You can always
round up more. You can always round up more.
Shop.
Yep.
They don't even ask me.
That's what I do too. Right. Let's see. Can I apply to Change for Good and the community grants? So this is a good question. It's a little bit confusing for folks sometimes. What you can apply for the Change for Good every year, and if you you could be selected as a Change for Good partner. So organizations that are selected this year in 2025 will not be a Change for Good partner until 2026. What that means is you can also apply for a Change for Good grant, a community grant in 2025, because that's awarded in 2025. You cannot apply for a community grant in 2026, which is the year that you will be the Change for Good partner. Does that make sense to everybody? Or at
And
least
we
do you
can't
understand
apply for
it?
Change for Good again until it's every other year.
That's right. And
So-
I'm sorry, I should say that too. You can't apply for Change for Good next year. You can't, if you are selected, you can only get it every other year. There's a waiting period.
Got it. Thanks.
Are there applicants for this who are maybe too big to receive these benefits?
You know, that's a great question. We haven't put limits on that. There's an array of organizations that apply, and some of them are fairly big, and they've been selected. In the committee process, we kind of look at all of that and we try to get a balance of organizations that we put to it, because we don't submit for 39 or 40 organizations apply. We don't send 40 organizations to the owners for selection. We send about 16.
I think that you're.
Kind of.
They spout known, let's say the Ashland Food Project. And amongst owners voting, so that there's a way in which, like much of life, the rich get richer, or whatever, that's how it happens. So I'm just curious if you intervene in that process at all, or just leave it to what happens.
We don't, I mean, certainly once the 16 organizations are passed to the owners, we don't interfere at all. It's just there's a little bit of balancing that goes on to get down from the 35 to the 16. And we may de-emphasize an organization a year if we've got too many big organizations that seem to be in it. We try to spread it out. That said, the Change for Good partnership is really ideal for more established organizations that have all of the the capabilities, that because they're used, the money comes in and they can use it for whatever they want, versus the community grants, which is for a smaller defined project, or not necessarily smaller, but for a defined project. So therefore there's a little bit more, we tend to think of that as more appropriate for a very small, newer organization. Okay. What can our Change for Good funding be used for? The answer is anything that's consistent with the mission of your organization. So you can use it for whatever you want.
It's just general.
It's just general operating. That said, we've had a conversation in the committee recently because I was shopping one day and I checked out and the cashier said, "We call it Change for Good. Can you tell me what good was done with this change?" And we tried to explain that it's general funding for the organization itself. So we're looking at asking each organization to try to give a sentence or two about what they would like to communicate to the owners their unrestricted donation would be for. So perennial challenge. It's the unrestricted funding is incredibly valuable for an organization, of course. But it's a much more complicated story about what it's doing. How much is being raised at the register per month? We said between $3,000 and $7,000 typically. As I said, last year there were 71, almost 72,000. So that's an average of $6,000. So it's
3 is low at this point. I think
yeah, I think 3 is low. We don't usually see that. I think in the early years it was 3, but now usually I would say between 5 and 7. Yeah.
that's right.
And when are the Change for Good funds available? They're available 3 weeks after the end of the month. It says a check is sent to the organization. Rather than send a check, we're asking for organizations to come and have a photo op with the co-op. So we'll try to do that. Right?
Yep.
Maybe that's it.
There's just a thank you slide.
Oh, there it is. Okay. And then so if you've got other questions, this presentation will be on the website
Yeah, we'll
tomorrow or
post it.
today.
Probably tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
By tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, and you can always reach out to AFC Gives, the website, there, the email address, and Callie gets that.
That's me. My business cards are up there too.
And let me just exit this and see if I can find. We're gonna get to your question, Barbara, about where it is, where the application is. Maybe you should just take over here. This machine is really wonky. isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Stop sharing. Try that. Okay. And, let's see, we still want to get into
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So let's do this here.
And if we,
I'm gonna look at the application and I can there we go. Yeah, we should
Okay.
be right there.
Okay.
So right now
now-
it's actually even on the homepage. If you just go to the AFC homepage, you'll see it there, but it's also on,
The co-op's homepage?
yeah, it's on the co-ops. Yeah, sorry, yeah, it's on the co-op. So it's right at the top there. So
There it is.
click there, it'll take you straight to it.
Click on this.
Yep.
Click here to learn more.
Yep, and then if you scroll down, that's right, go back up right at the very top, there's the application.
See it?
Right down just a little bit. We've got a big header.
There it is.
Yeah. So right there.
Right there.
And there
And
it
then you
is.
get,
Yeah.
right,
If you have
we
any
got it.
trouble with the application, just reach out to me.
And then there's, yeah, you can see the kind of name of the organization.
And you'll see there's that answers your EDI question up there. Got a little bit of like,
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess that's what I was.
oh yeah, I guess that is
Yeah.
confusing the way,
Oh, right.
yeah.
Well,
it
that's
should
an old,
help.
this is an
Yeah,
old application.
It is, that's an old version, yeah.
This one.
Yeah, everything else is the same, but yeah, we need to have the IT team update that.
But I'm seeing,
We've just changed the verbiage on the priorities. It's
I'm
just.
told you not to do EDI.
yeah, no, I think it was, I think it was even last year. I think even last year we did, because we had five,
Yeah.
we were trying to do is unify the two
Mm.
programs. So you have the same 5 priorities and EDI is across everything.
That's good to
Wow.
know.
You're gonna have to,
Fix that. Yep, I can't fix it, but IT can.
you can what?
But,
100%,
but
I
is
say that.
this the
Yeah, I
current
would say
application?
can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you can say, it. Yeah, that's,
Right, it's been EDI was a part of, an important part of your work with you.
Yeah,
you should say, it.
yeah, that's
Yep.
information we would love to
Yep.
know. Yeah.
yeah, it looks like we've not changed this. So the presentation, and this has been out in enough time, we should probably just keep it as it is. Yep. After this. Yep. Good catch.
Yeah, thank you. I've looked at it probably 2 dozen times.
Here's your
and I haven't
nonprofit,
noted
or
it.
if you've got a. Yep. So you can see there's text boxes with character limits and all that sort of thing.
So it's pretty short little.
Pretty short little things. Yep. Pretty short little. Yep. Yep. Other questions?
It's just a final question. I'm curious to know. And I just look at my behavior as a shopper here. So I just always round up. It doesn't matter what the organization is. I don't think I have to know what the organization is. I mean, they just say, would you like to round up? And I say, sure. But I don't know. But I'm just curious to know, is that sort of the general habit?
No,
What?
I wouldn't say it's a general habit.
No.
People are particular. But I want
Yep. I mean, there are people like you, I mean, I do the same thing. It's always round up. It's automatic for me. But there's certainly months that the organizations get more or less. Sometimes there's pushback from some shoppers. They say, no, I'm not going to do that sort of organization. About 20, the numbers, we just looked at this at the committee last month. I think it was 25%
Yeah, that
of
sounds right.
shopping events.
Yeah,
So I can't say it's shoppers, the shopping,
Yeah.
when result in a roundup. And higher for owners shopping than non-owners. When visitors come and shop, they're less likely to round up than an owner.
I just round out, but occasionally ask what it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious.
Yeah.
and what, you're supporting that month.
And do you find that the cashiers generally know and can tell a little bit about it? Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
They told me.
Yeah. Because that's also something we're always working at. It's, people are shopping. They want to get, they want to get their products, scanned or whatever it is and in the basket and go on right their way. So the cashiers, you don't want the cashiers to have a big spiel about what it is each organization is doing, but to be knowledgeable enough that they can answer questions, but not be so chatty with what the organization is doing as you're holding everybody else up in line behind them. So it's great.
Sign at
Yeah, there's always a sign at the registers and a QR code, so you can scan it if you want.
That's right. So that is the QR code as well as something we've added in the last year or two. So you can actually click on that and get to their website. Yeah. Shanique, you came in a little bit late. Do you have other questions that maybe we talked about before you got in that occur to you?
I guess when I came in, you were talking about. But what is the community fund?
The community grants. So community grants that's a different program. That's where organizations apply for a grant to carry out a specific project. So, and then the project, it will be in one of the 5 categories, the same categories. And the committee will review those and people will ask for $1,500 to do something. They'll ask for food, for gift cards for things, and then the co-op will decide to give a certain amount. But it's a much more involved project proposal because you actually provide a lot of information about the project specifically.
What's the range of money from the grants that are given?
So the grants that the maximum is $2,000. And there we had 46 or 47 applicants. And the co-op just recently decided to increase the amount that we have in the pot to be able to serve more organizations. We got 42 applicants and we only were able to serve about 17, I think. Yeah, so it's not very good odds, but they tend to be a little bit, they're smaller grants than they often are organizations that don't have as much longevity or experience.
Of the 17 that were given, what was the range? Yeah, 2000. Yeah, but on that one.
Lower is probably $500 or
I
$600.
think
or
most people
something.
asked for more than that. I don't know if we had anyone ask for anything less than $1,000.
Okay.
But
Right.
it could be as small as $100 if you
Can
wanted
be.
it to, we would consider it for sure.
Yep.
And there's always a little bit of, you may ask for $2,000, but we may, in order to give a little bit more, we may give a little bit less here and a little more there, so we can support all organizations.
Right. And again, that's a program that is available in the summer. We release the application process. Anyone that's on the Zoom want to have a question? They still there?
Four people, the 2 of us.
Great.
It's like Marty and Paul are still there.
Marty and Paul, you're still.
Paul's still here, no questions. You all have done a great job.
Thanks, Paul. Marty, do you have any questions? Can't see you, but maybe it's there. There it is.
You've really done a great job, and I'm soaking it up. And we're I really appreciate this opportunity and your time.
Great. Thanks, Marty. Okay. We've got it. If there are no other questions, I think we can wrap it up.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Special thanks for a great presentation.
Great. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Marty. And the presentation